What's going on, world? This is Hotep, president and founder of Hustle University. To be honest with you, I really didn't want to have to shoot this video, but after all the melee and the events occurring in the media recently, I felt the necessity to do so. People are looking for solutions, and we all know that there's a big problem between the police, law enforcement, and the community, particularly law enforcement and African American men. Being a black male myself, I feel this situation even more personally than many people. The question was, what solution can I offer? And everybody's talking about marches and town halls and dialogue and such, but we've been talking about that for years, decades, and that has not been a viable solution. You guys know me, I'm all about solutions, very practical and actionable solutions that we can do right here and right now. Now, to be truthful, yes, I've had my own run-ins with the police, and they weren't very positive. Often, most of them were not positive. However, I do see the necessity for the police and for law and order. And in fact, while we see this divide between the police and the community, oftentimes we forget that the police are actually part of the community, and we can't forget that. In fact, many of the police officers we're talking about happen to be black males themselves. So we need to stop the divisiveness, and we also need to stop letting the media manipulate our emotions and our attention. We need to stay focused. And so with that, I'd like to share with you a solution that we've come up with at Hustle University, and how it actually came about. I went to a restaurant the other day, and I reflected on something I heard one of the chief officers in Dallas say. He talked about how being a police officer was for the most part, a thankless job, and they got used to that. And I thought that was really sad, because for all intents and purposes, police officers are here to protect and serve, and they do a service to all of us. We need them. We need them. So I went to a restaurant the other day, and when I walked out, it was a police officer providing security for the restaurant. So I stepped down, and yes, it was a white officer standing next to the hostess. I walked out of the building, I turned to him, shook his hand, and said, "Thank you." And the officer said, "Thank you," back to me. And the young lady, and I overheard the young lady say, "You see?" And she smiled at him, and he smiled at her back. And the fact that the young lady said "see" means that they were having a conversation about his feelings, about being appreciated or whatever. And when I did that, it kind of decompressed him. It gave him a sense of ease and peace. And it also gave me a sense of ease and peace as well. The very next day, I got on an elevator at a hotel, and I saw this gentleman come on. He was a white gentleman, and he had tattoos on his arms. Looked like what they would typically say is a white redneck racist type of person, right? Looked like he hated black people, and it was waving the Confederate flag just earlier that day. So he got on the elevator with me, and I was preparing myself. I kind of tensed up when he got on, because I was preparing for the silence and the discomfort of being in close quarters with somebody like that. We get on the elevator, and the gentleman turns to me and says, "Good morning." And I was so surprised and caught off guard. And I turned to him and I said, "Good morning too." And he asked me how my day was going and so on and so forth. And we talked briefly as we went up the elevator. He got off and said, "Hey, have a good day." I said, "Have a good day too," and smiled. And he smiled as well. And those two interactions really changed me. The fact that I was able to say something to an officer by thanking him and make him feel better, and also it made me feel better, and also preparing for the tension of interaction with somebody who I felt or thought was a racist and hated me, turned out that he was a cool fella. You know what I'm saying? And so I thought about those two interactions. I said, man, how can I multiply that situation? How can I multiply that feeling for everybody in the community, between officers and African American males? So I came up with a solution, and the solution is so simple you guys might laugh at it, but I promise you this thing here will change the world, and I challenge each and every one of you to embark on this mission with me. The statement is simple: greet a brother, thank a cop. That's it. Greet a brother, thank a cop. What I'm challenging you, ladies and gentlemen, those of you who care and who are serious about solutions and making change, This is the challenge to you. When you see a black male, no matter who he is, what he looks like, and where you are, say hello. Greet him. Say what's up, what's popping. Give a head nod, salute, whatever it is, however you communicate to people, greet him. And when you see a police officer, someone in law enforcement, thank them. Yes, you don't know who they are, you don't know what they did earlier and what they are about to do, but simply thank them. Thank them for their service. And I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, by greeting a brother and thanking a cop, that simple idea and that little bit of outreach will be able to create better relationships between the community and officers, or officers in the community. We'll be able to create the dialogue that we're all talking about with the rhetoric in reality, right? And you never know. You might just make a new friend. You might even extend that idea of who a brother and what a brother looks like. Is a brother just a black man? Maybe it could be a white man, a Latino, an Asian. Maybe we can see each and every one of us as brothers. I don't know, but I'd like for you to try and find out with me. Greet a brother, thank a cop, gab tag. My name is Hotep, president and founder of the Hustle University, saying and meaning peace.